Hey everyone, it's Angela Allen. Welcome back to the Handmade Homestead and Garden. If you're new here, I am so glad to meet you. If you've been one of my subscribers for a while, thank you for coming back. I always, as always, appreciate you. Now, those of you who have been here for a while know that when it comes to buying things, I am one of those make do, reuse, or do without kind of girls. So the appliances that I have, some of them are quite elderly, and I still have them because they still work, so I've not replaced them. And that is definitely true of my mixer. Now, my current stand mixer is probably over 30 years old. I want to say I got it sometime in the very, very late 80s. It was originally gifted to me. It is a SUNBEAM Mixmaster. And one of the reasons I liked it is because it had dough hooks with it, and it does still have those. Now, that mixer has lasted me all this time. I don't usually use it for bread because it's an old mixer, but it's pretty versatile. It has two glass bowls in two different sizes. The top of the stand mixer part comes off, and you can put the beaters on it and use it as a hand mixer as well. Though I never do that, I always just use it as a stand mixer. It is something that it is possible to do with it, and I'll be darned if that thing doesn't work almost as well as the day it was gifted to me. So I've never replaced it, but I can't say I haven't wanted to. Because I'm an ingredients cook, I cook a lot. You can imagine. Probably most of you out there watching this are also ingredients cooks, so you cook from scratch. And something I make daily is absolutely a bread product of some kind, but I do make everything from scratch. So I have been dreaming about buying a KitchenAid mixer for a really long time, but they are expensive. You can get some good deals around Christmas time, but they are still expensive. And I can always justify buying something that I need, but when my current mixer was working so well, there was no way I was going to spend the money on upgrading to a KitchenAid, even though it was definitely my dream to have one. Well, they say nobody knows you like your family. And for Christmas, my lovely, lovely daughter and her boyfriend gifted me with a really nice KitchenAid Stand Mixer. It's the model that has the bowl lift feature on it. It's a 5.5 quart, which is the perfect size for me. We have a very small family, but I do cook a lot, as I said. So today I'm going to do an unboxing of it with you. I'm going to set it up, and I am going to make my absolutely favorite, most versatile, super fast bread recipe for you as well. And the bread recipe I will leave down in the show notes for you, and I will leave a link to this mixer off of Amazon, just so that if you're looking for one, you can go and find one for yourself. All right, I am super excited, so let's go. And I do want you to know that my old mixer, the one that does still work really well, I will be donating that locally to someone who needs a mixer and will be happy to have it. It does work really well. I do have some extra attachments for it, so it won't be going in the trash. It will be given to somebody else who can absolutely use it too. All right, let's look at my old mixer first so you can see what I've been working with, and then we'll get into unboxing the new one. This is the mixer that I currently have. It's, like I said, SUNBEAM Mixmaster. This part comes off, and then you can actually put the beaters in and use this as a hand mixer. And it's really pretty powerful. It does work really well. I've gotten some really, really good use out of this. Just slides right back on, has a little pin there. Lifts up for bowl removal, has two really nice glass bowls. They've held up really well. The original beaters that came with it did get like a little bit rusty over time. I don't know why. I'm a good one to keep my appliances pretty clean. I do use them a lot, but I do have a really good respect for what they do for me, so I try to keep them really clean. So when these started to look so bad, I was able to actually buy those replacement parts, and I bought these maybe 2 years ago. They are still available, and these are the dough hooks that came with it as well. So this is what I'm going from. It's got 12 speeds, and each one you can see is labeled so you know what speed to use for whatever job you happen to be doing. So overall, it's been a really great mixer for me. I've gotten a lot of use out of this mixer. It's held up really well. It's never needed repairs. And I'm really happy with the job that it's done for me. It just can't carry the load for what I do now. And a lot of you know that I do make a lot of bread in the bread machine. I use the bread machine to make my dough quite often, and then I ferment it separately and bake it off, usually in my oven. I do have a couple of videos where I bake in the bread machine itself, but typically I like to bake in the oven. And my reason for that is because I like the crust on oven baked bread better than I like the crust that comes out of a bread machine. So what's happened over time is I tend to go through a lot of bread machines. I go through a couple of them a year. And usually what happens is the paddle mechanism on the bottom of the bread machine usually breaks long before the bread machine itself does. And sometimes I can't get the parts, and I end up having to buy a whole new bread machine just because I've destroyed the paddle system on the pan itself. So, and I found that even with name brand machines, I sometimes can't get replacement parts and do have to buy a whole new machine. So I'm tired of doing that. I'm tired of buying new bread machines just to make bread dough. And this mixer right here just can't handle making bread dough on a daily basis. It does have dough hooks and it does have settings for kneading bread, but on the scale that I make bread, it just isn't going to do it anymore. So a couple of months ago, my bread machine pan, the beater system, the paddle system on it, broke, and I can replace it. It's about $45, $50 with shipping to get a replacement for it. But you know that won't last me 6 months, and I'll have to replace it again. And by the time I've done that a couple times, that's the cost of a new bread machine too. So in the last few months, I've been hand kneading all of my bread. And I'm getting older, and hand kneading for a long period of time is really a challenge. Now, while it's not necessary to hand knead sourdough bread because you can do your stretch and folds and you have that long ferment period that invariably gives you enough gluten for nice lofty bread, that's not true with yeast bread. It needs to be kneaded at least somewhat. And with, shoulder injury recently and not being a spring chicken anymore, that's become quite a tedious job. So I was really thinking I needed to replace the bread machine. And on the day that my husband and I were talking about replacing the bread machine, this wonderful gift from my daughter and her boyfriend arrived. It's going to save me a lot of physical effort. That's becoming more and more effort for me. And it's going to save me time. And it's also going to take the place of 2 of the appliances in my household. I've already recycled the bread machine, and this cute little mixer behind me is going to be gifted to someone in our Buy Nothing group. We have a Buy Nothing group here in my town. Check on Facebook to see if you have one in your town. The Buy Nothing Facebook groups, you can give away items that are usable, that you no longer need in your household, for free to other members of your community. And you can ask for items that you need if you need something in a pinch and somebody in your community might have it and be able to gift it to you. Again, there's no charge for anything on Buy Nothing, and everyone does kind of follow the same rules of courtesy. But check that out for your town. We have one in my town. You do have to live in my town, have a home zip code in my town to be on it. And it's true for the other Buy Nothing sites too. But check that out, and let's get on with unboxing this mixer. All right, here we go. So this is the KitchenAid. It arrived in the mail. It was quite a surprise. This one is the 5.5 quart bowl. It has the bowl lift stand mixer, which means this piece is one piece. This doesn't lift up like some of the KitchenAids do. There are lots of different models of KitchenAids. This one is a fixed stand. So let's get it out of the box and get a look at it. This is one of, this one has an extra couple of items with it. It has an extra 3-quart bowl, a mini whip, and a spatula, and this would be the mini whip. Wow, these are so well made. All right, let's move this over a little bit. Put that down. And the 3-quart bowl. Nice. And the spatula, oh, this is really nice too. Nice spatula. All right, oh, there's the dough hook. I'm gonna need to turn this box on its side, I think. I know you guys are probably wondering, I do put the Christmas tree on the table. We have 2 dogs. So again, this does have the bowl lift lever. You just turn it and it lowers the bowl. Big whip. That's cool. And the 5.5 quart bowl, that is a nice big bowl that is perfect for my size family and for the projects that I do. You can buy lots of accompanying things. You know, with the KitchenAid, you can get a meat grinder and a cheese grinder and a pasta maker and all kinds of things to hook on from here. Even a grain grinder if you want to make your own flour. But you can also buy pads to put the machine on so you don't have to lift it. You can slide it on your counter more easily. There's a little handle cover that you can get for this. The bowl goes on simply. You just line it up on the pegs on either side, and then you just push down till it clicks, and then you're set to go. You put your paddle on, whatever you're doing. Oh, that's easy to seat. None of that poking it in and trying to get it to stick on. These go on and come off really easily. Up you go. You're ready to mix. I can see that mine might need to be adjusted. The paddle is absolutely touching the bowl. I don't know, there might be a gap under that. I'll have to check in a minute. I know that you can adjust these. You can adjust the paddle height. I'll have to get used to taking off the paddle before I take off the bowl. That's kind of new to me. I'm used to lifting the head up and the bowl comes right out. But there's a screw right here that does allow you to adjust the paddle height. And here's the knob for speeds. Speeds go from 0 to 1/2 and then all the way up to 10. And from what I've read so far, you need bread at 2. I'm going to get the parts over to the sink, get everything washed up and dried, find a nice cozy place for her to sit, and then I'm going to make a loaf of bread. Maybe I'll make 2 loaves of bread. I could use them right about now. I haven't made bread in a couple of days. Now I'm going to make a double batch of this bread, but I'm going to give the recipe for just a single loaf. So what you actually see in front of you is the doubled batch amount. So you're going to add 1 cup of warm milk to a bowl, 1 tablespoon of yeast, yes, 1 whole tablespoon. That's going to make it rise faster. You're going to add about one and a half teaspoons of salt. That's for flavor, so please do add salt, and it helps with the rise. A couple tablespoons of melted butter. They help with the texture and absolutely with the flavor. 3 cups of all-purpose or bread flour, whatever you happen to have handy. I don't usually use whole wheat. We're not big fans of whole wheat. You're also going to add about 2 tablespoons of sugar or honey or sweetener of your choice, and 1 whole egg. I do also often add other grains, either some handful of rolled oats or a tablespoon or 2 of ground flax seeds or other seeds like hemp hearts, just for flavor and for the healthfulness that it brings to the bread, because again, we don't eat a lot of whole wheat bread ourselves. And there's nothing too precious about this recipe. You can just dump everything right into the bowl. I do put the milk and the yeast in first and mix that for a minute, but then I just put everything else in and get it mixing. You don't have to worry about order or anything like that. Just put it all in there, get it mixing. If the dough seems a little too dry, you can put a little bit more milk in. If it seems too wet, you can put just a tiny bit more flour in. The only time I ever see that come up is if I choose to add some sourdough discard just to use that up. That will make the dough wetter. Or if I put in a little too much or a couple of different additional grains, those kinds of things can make the dough a little bit drier too. So I will say that this mixer is definitely quieter than my old mixer. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes. You can see how much that's really doubled. Using all that yeast really makes a difference in how fast. I'm going to just cut this in half for 2 loaves. Well, thank you for joining me today while we reviewed 2 different mixers, my 30-year-old Mixmaster stand mixer and the newly gifted, new to me, KitchenAid mixer as well. If you found this content helpful or enjoyable, please don't forget to like and subscribe. We are a pretty new channel still, and we are doing our best to grow, and we so appreciate your support. I'm going to leave another video for you right here so you can have the recipe for my fast bread version that we made today in the mixer. And please let me know down below if you make it, how it comes out for you, and if you enjoy the recipe as much as we do in our house. I will see you next time. Take care.